Welcome to another installment of Kickback Conversations. I'm your boy Brandon Scott, your host, and man, we have a lot to talk about today. First and foremost, Insecure is in season 4 now, and I wanted to give you guys a mid-season review, mid-season update of what I feel about Insecure. I've been talking to a lot of people. I will give Issa credit. Season 3 was a little, you know what I mean? But she came back with a vengeance in season 4, and we have been enjoying it every step of the way. I tell you what, I feel like the block party, the episode before the block party was just so much fun, but we're gonna get into all of that this show, so you don't want to miss it. Please hit the subscribe button if you can. You can support a black-owned business. Just saying. and definitely share. But before we get into everything, I just want to say this. Insecure is a show that I feel like I gave an earlier pod on it. You guys really hit me up and were like, well, you really enjoyed the content of that pod. So I wanted to come back and give you a little bit more about my thoughts about this season as I recap the first 3 seasons in an earlier podcast. So first of all, this season, we see the challenges of friendships, right? All of us have had friendships that are just super, super challenging. And the one thing that we see right out the box with episode 1 is Molly and Issa, they're cool or whatever like that. But let me just say this, Issa is at an all-time high for herself. I'm proud of her this season. Issa D, her character, is really just trying to find herself, and she's doing it. She's in a positive space. She has nothing but good vibes, and she's actually doing some great things, trying to do some great things for her community. She's trying to follow through on a passion project, creating a block party for the community that is actually turning into a business for her, so she can really put all her chips in herself and making sure that she's focusing on that. We are seeing this season Issa's character right out at episode 1. I mean, they'll talk to that guy, but that's not serious. TSA Bay, I mean, what's up, man? He just there to, whatever. But I mean, what we're saying with her character this year, what I really like is she's focusing on making sure, hey, I'm focusing on being the best version of me, right? How many of us know people who are not focusing on that, who are not focusing on being the best version of them? And I think that's a challenge when it comes to Issa's character this season. She is literally focusing on being the best version of herself. Another thing I think that we're finding is Issa's character is somebody, I think, this season who is really trying to grow in a variety of different ways. She's trying to grow as a person. She's trying to grow professionally. She's just trying to grow even in her friendships. The Issa of last season, or even Issa season 1 especially, would not have been able to be mature enough to have Condola as a friend. Let's keep it 100, right? So that was the number one takeaway. I think Issa's really trying to grow. Now here's the catch here. I feel like this oftentimes when people are trying to grow and you have friendships with people who've known you forever or what have you, sometimes that growth challenges the friendship, right? Where people are like, I don't know, this is kind of weird, or things are not necessarily clicking on all cylinders. Maybe some of the things you had in common, you don't no longer have in common. I see this in everyday life all the time. People, mature, they grow up, maybe they get their life to the Lord, and they're not really in the club scene anymore, but they got that friend who's still out there, who still want to, go out 2-3 times a week and do this and do that, and they're just in a different space. So I feel like that's the challenge of Issa and Molly's relationship with their friendship this season. But I think the number one thing, so we talk about episode 1, Molly is the queen. Y'all talking about the queen out here? She's the queen of assumptions. Come on, say it with your chest. The queen of assumptions. Why does Molly continue to assume things? And we see this in episode 1, where she's driving her new guy she's been dating, who she gave a hard time to last season, wasn't really trying to date him. I don't know, all these different things. you know, he was just an option. It wasn't really making him a priority. And they're driving to Issa's, you know, happy hour event to launch, you know, talking about launching her block party. And she's like, yeah, so we should get together this such and such a date. He's like, yeah, I can't. I have plans that day. And she was like, what, you got a date or something? And he was like, your boy kind of do have a date. I ain't gonna hold you, you know what I mean? So it was like one of those things, one of those moments where she asked the question first that she did not prepare herself for the answer, right? I tell people all the time in coaching, you do never ask a question that you're not prepared for the answer, because the answer could be multiple things, and if you're not prepared for that, things can go left really quickly. And they did, because then she got into like this little thing with him, you're dating other people. Molly, you cannot assume that he's not dating other people when you guys have never had that conversation. Nothing has ever been communicated that you guys were exclusive, right? And I'm gonna give this tip right away to us as a culture. Have the conversation. If you want to date somebody exclusively, have the conversation. I don't care if it's a female, I don't care if it's a male. One of y'all have to have the conversation and have a grown conversation and say, you know what? I've been really enjoying dating you. I've been really enjoying this journey. You know, I want to date you more. I want to have, you know, more experiences with you. And I really want to just be exclusive with you. You know what I mean? And just jump out there, you know, especially if you feel the vibe is right and everything. Make it happen, baby girl. Make it happen, bro. Like, what's up, you know? So that's the thing that kind of caused a little tension with them. And then here's the thing. They get to the party in episode 1. My man's like, yo, can I get you a drink? Like, he like, yo, let's bygones be bygones, baby. Let's have a good time, right? Which is another thing. We get into an argument in the car. Everybody don't need to know our business. And sometimes I see that with couples where the tension of the earlier argument will transcend into your experience around friends or family or work friends or whomever. That's not appropriate. Like, leave that alone. We will address it later, but don't let everybody else in our business or what's going on, right? They not here for that, right? But the thing that got me in that whole episode 1, was when Molly literally, you know, told old boy, yeah, I think I'm gonna clean up a little bit. So, you know, he's like, oh, you want me to catch a Lyft or Uber? I mean, what's up? And she was like, yeah, bro, I mean, you know, do what you can do. You feel me? Like, do what you do. I always tell people, and especially like ladies. If a man brought you to one of his homeboys' events across town, picked you up, I don't know how far it was, let's say it's 45 minutes away, right from where you live, picked you up from your house, brought you to said event, y'all had a little disagreement in the car, a little misunderstanding, and he talking about, yo, Uber and Lyft, they running. How would you feel about that? All your friends, all your girls will say this dude is trash. Throw him away, cancel him, he's whack. Every one of your friends at that brunch that next weekend would tell you to eliminate that guy from your life. But why do we allow the same behavior from Molly to a guy, right? He got to call a whole Uber, you pick me up, or you can't drop me back off? She didn't even offer, she didn't even say, look, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm actually cleaning up. I think it's right for me to clean up my best friend's party. You can stay with me and do it. I'm sorry, I know maybe I can give you a ride back home, or hey, I'll pay for your Uber or Lyft, whatever, because that's your guest. You know, if you invite somebody in your house, they're your guest, right? You pick somebody up, they're your guest, and you take them to your friend's event, they're your guest. So I think that was really where Molly is starting off really bad with being the queen of assumptions this season. Remember that, all right? As we fast forward into the episode, into the other episodes, we deal with Condola and Lawrence's situation. And I want to unpack this. I feel like the challenge with this situation that's very uncommon with a lot of other situations that turn awkward is usually one party in that relationship is wrong, right? So either it's the ex, it's the current girl, it's the dude, like somebody's kind of was messy in that agreement. But in this situation, nobody's really wrong, you know? Issa and Lawrence had a clean break. Condola did not know Issa. Condola did not know Lawrence. You know, she actually just met Lawrence. She met Issa. You know, they work on this event together, this block party. Everybody's hands are clean in this, which makes it very challenging as they're moving forward, because it's like, what do you do? Like, how do you navigate that when you're like, I don't know, bruh. Like, I don't know if this is the right look for, you know, for everything. And I think what ends up happening, not only is I think Molly's friendship with Issa changing already, but now Condola, who seems to be a very mature, intelligent, you know, woman, is now in Issa's life. And Molly, I feel like, is somewhat threatened by that. It's not just about the whole Lawrence thing. I think she's somewhat threatened by somebody replacing her, which is sometimes a natural thing I've seen over the year of friendships, of people saying, you know what, man, I don't know, like, you know, that person, they don't do what I do, or we get into these little petty things, right? So the thing I think with Condola and Lawrence and Issa's relationship, every relationship or every situation in business or personal has to have established boundaries. And I think that they're trying to find that this season. I think that was the whole conversation that Lawrence had with Issa in one of the episodes, saying, hey, you know, look, you know, I'm trying to do this, whatever. Like I think that's the complicated factor in this of like, yo, y'all can have y'all's business and kiki or personal, you know, professional relationship, but please just don't mention me or our, you know, what we got going on. I just don't want anything to be misinterpreted or cause any friction in a new relationship that I'm trying to develop with Condola, right? Kudos to Lawrence. I feel like he was actually being very mature in that moment and trying to figure all these different new dynamics out of where he's navigating next with Condola and trying to establish a really healthy relationship with her. And I could tell that brother really liked Condola. Condola, I mean, I'm not gonna hold you, Condola kind of bad too, a little intelligent, you know what I'm saying? A little young Claire Huxtable out here, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's my takeaway for that is you have to establish, you know, for all of us, establish boundaries when the person you're currently dating has a relationship with, you know, your ex, you know, a business friendship or whatever that may be. So I think that's something that we can learn from this, and hopefully we can grow from it. Another thing this season happened with the Friendsgiving, where certain things were said about Condola by one of her tipsy friends. First of all, don't listen to tipsy friends. Tipsy friends, first of all, they will tell some business and tell some tea, as y'all say, and all that. They will put some stuff out there, but also tipsy friends are tipsy friends, right? A lot of people say things when they're inebriated that they really don't mean. Sometimes they do mean it. I'm not gonna hold it. Sometimes it is true, but sometimes they're just inebriated and they're talking mess and talking stuff and they're talking their own opinions or whatever like that. I think that it was inappropriate for that friend to even have that conversation with Lawrence at that time and everything like that. My brother's over there just fixed the sink. I mean, he feeling good about himself. You know what I mean? He not a plumber. You know what I'm saying? He was like, girl, I'm gonna fix your sink for you. You don't even worry about that. You know what I mean? We making this Friendsgiving like that. You know what I mean? So I think the conversation that they had created a Lawrence and Condola in the kitchen when everyone left, created a really kind of interesting dynamic that was uncomfortable. I think for both of them to a degree. Uncomfortable for Lawrence because he thought they were in a different place or heading to a different place maybe than what Condola actually thought or imagined, right? I think Lawrence feels like he wants to get married. He wants to probably have a family and those kind of things. That's the next step for him, a part of his journey, right? That's why he invited himself to a Friendsgiving, because he wants to be a part of getting to know her friends. And ladies, let me say something. When a brother's like, yo, I want to get to know your friends, I want to be open, come through, I want to help you out, make sure the event is good, that's a positive thing. That's a brother who wants to include himself into your life. So I think that was a positive step for Lawrence, because we've seen him make some really bad missteps, especially with Tasha in previous seasons. But I would say this, that Condola's point of view actually was very authentic. Like, yo, Lawrence, real talk. If Issa did not cheat on you, would you have broken up with her, right? I think that's a real question. However, I feel like we can go down the road of a lot of ifs in our lives. If so-and-so in your family won a lottery, would you have finished college? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you can go down so many different ifs, and I think that can be can be a little bit problematic. What Lawrence's behavior has shown, Condola, is I'm about you. Like, I'm serious. I'm here at your Friendsgiving, rolling up my sleeves, getting my shirt all wet and everything, because I didn't know how to fix this thing, girl, but I tried to learn because I wanted you to be a success. You know what I mean? I'm committed to you. I'm going on dates with you. You know what I mean? We're spending time together. I really want to get to know you. So sometimes I feel like also in dating someone, we can focus on so many other things that have all these other things on the outside that we're not really enjoying, and really focus on how we can strengthen the foundation on the inside, right? So I think that's something that we're seeing in this season, and that relationship dynamic spilled over to Tiffany's house, right? Shout out Tiffany, played by Amanda Seales. Just saw your Smart, Funny, and Black recently, man. That was dope. The live version online was really good, Amanda. Keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, Tiffany, Derek, like, they have a new baby. You know, Lawrence is over the house. Issa's coming over. Molly, Kelly, you know, all the whole cast is. I mean, they're pretty much everybody's there, and you know, trying to check on the baby and all that kind of stuff. And then we see a scene in which, again, Assumption Queen comes back. Yes, this episode I'm coming from Molly. Assumption Queen comes back, right? She sees Lawrence and Issa talking in the driveway of Tiffany's house, and she makes a little you know that little wonder what they about to do. Like, why are you assuming? This is your best friend. Why can you not communicate and ask her really what's going on? Like, girl, you still talking to the old boy? What's going on with that? Why are you making assumptions? Why are you being messy, Molly? Messy Molly. This season we call her Messy Molly. That's her name, y'all. She is Messy Molly, Queen of Assumptions, right? She sounds like a Game of Thrones urban character. Let's keep it 100. She's Messy Molly, Queen of Assumptions. So the other assumption that she makes, so then that's also in that episode, she actually goes for Issa, and I guess Issa makes a joke or whatever, like they always do, what they've normally done in their friendship, and Molly's like, the Pampers, they over there like they always been. If you was here last week, you would have known. Like, what? How do we, you know, everybody was like, how do we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. How did we get here? You sing that song, right? So I just feel like that's a big part. Molly is just continuing to make assumptions. She then later in the episode, with her guy, and I want to unpack that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you invite somebody to your home for a pre-planned date, Netflix and chill or whatever that may be, and they get there at the perfect time that they're supposed to get there, and you still not prepared, you got a do-rag on or rollers in your hair, ladies, or whatever it is, and you still, I don't know, I ain't even know, I ain't put no deodorant on, I don't know what's going on. You're not prepared for me. You know what I mean? Did you plan for me coming? Did you know I was coming? I didn't pop up. I didn't just knock on your door and say I was in the neighborhood. Nah, bruh, like, we planned this. So you're not being mindful of my time. That's the first thing. The second thing that Molly did is she's like, oh, we gotta get some work done, whatever. She was working for hours, right? So my thing is, again, you didn't plan, you didn't communicate, which Molly has a big issue with doing. Why don't you call your significant other and say, bruh, look, I got a lot of work to do. I'm working on this case. Either, hey, let's reschedule and I'm really sorry and I'll make it up to you. Or you come over and we can just be in each other's space while I work. And once I work, you know what I mean? We can have a little bay time, you know what I mean? You know, so another thing that we actually saw, even as she was getting to her coworkers and they're like, oh, and she rescheduled, she was like, oh, my man, yeah, he good. You know, he understands. She assumed again that he understood that everything was fine and she can just keep rescheduling on him and playing him time-wise, and he was just okay with that. And first of all, anybody who is okay with that is not somebody who's serious about you, right? If I'm really looking forward to seeing you, I'm gonna tell you ladies, look, your boy, if I'm looking forward to seeing you, You know what I mean? I got everything planned. You don't know what other things I might have moved around. So I was like, nah, man, I can't do that, can't do that. Nah, it's time for my baby. You know what I mean? It's Baytime or whatever. And then you play me multiple times, rescheduling this. I understand things happen. I'm not an unreasonable fella, but you're constantly rescheduling and acting like my time is not valuable. My time is valuable. I get paid for my time. You know what I mean? So just like you get paid for your time, Molly. So come on, let's just do better. And I think that's the challenge. As we're going to lead up to the block party, I'm gonna close out with the block party because we got a lot to unpack with that. But I wanted to put that out there because I feel like sometimes, it's just one of those things. People just do not think about these things in a realistic fashion, and they make really, really bad mistakes. So yeah, she assumed there. So we got all of her assumptions out the way. And so then we fast forward later on when Molly's in a better place with her guy. They're in a relationship now. They try to make things work. She's finally communicating to him like, yo, look, man, I'm messy Molly. I don't really be doing these things right. You saw what happened with Jadena. You know what I mean? You saw what happened with other homeboy. Like, I really just don't, I'm not in my bag when it comes to relationships and dating. And I think when she had a moment of honesty and transparency, her guy was like, yo, okay, I can accept that. Because I'm gonna tell you, people, everybody out there, men and women, when you come with people honest and say, you know what, I'm not really good at this. Most people are compassionate and they understand and they're like, yo, I'm not good at this, but I'm willing to work on it. Hey, cool. I'm not mad at you. Let's work on it, Whatever that I'm not good at might be, whether it be time management or, hey, I'm working on being better with this or better with that or whatever. Like, if somebody really cares about you, they're willing to work on that. So I think that's something that we saw this season that she did a good job of having that transparent conversation. The problem was in that same episode, we're going to talk about it. Issa calls her and says, Molly, my headliner canceled, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really need a favor, whatever like that. Now here's the let's stop real quick. Your best friend, not the person at your job you say hi to sometimes. Your best friend who you've been best friends with since college, right? They've known each other since college. We know that. Issa Rae has actually said that in interviews. They know each other since college. They've known each other since college, right? We was eating ramen noodles together. We best friends. You feel me? Calls you with the favor, and the first thing out your mouth was to condescend her. Well, did you read the contract? Did you do this? Did you miss a payment? Did you do that? Come on, Molly. Somebody calling you for a favor and you gonna just be condescending on them? Not appropriate. Do better. And then she made an agreement. So not only did she condescend her, but she then made an agreement that she was going to ask her boyfriend who worked for Live Nation to get her an artist, or help try to get her an artist, for the block party. Now here's my thing. I would have been like, yo, I'm gonna see what I can do. I can make no guarantees, but you're my best friend. I got you. Let me see what I can do. Not only am I gonna call my significant other and see what that person can do, but I'm gonna call some other people too to see if we can get this figured out, and I'll give you an update. I'll call you back, right? Then she calls back and she was like, listen, I don't want any part of this. I don't want you to mess with my relationship. And she just hit her with you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying, right? No, we don't know what you're saying. You're being messy. Come on, Molly, do better. And I'll say this, as somebody who has thrown events for over a decade, I've thrown events all across this beautiful country, put much of my own money in. And some of those events didn't make a lot. Some of those events, whatever. And I remember starting out when you're throwing your first one, you're just hoping everything goes well. You put all this money into it. You put all this time into it. You put all this sweat into it. You've done everything you possibly can to make it happen. And the people, I know for me, the people who wanted to see me win the most were my best friends. And my family, of course, but my best friends were right there with me. Shout out to my best friend. was right there. Like, what could I do? All right. And I might ask them to do some stuff they didn't really want to do, right? That wasn't really maybe in their personality type, but they were like, I got you, man. We want to see you win, bro. We want to see you be successful. When she did that and she was like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to be involved or whatever like that. I just don't understand that. And I think I was talking to a friend recently and they made a great point about this. Sometimes we keep people in the box where we met them and we don't allow them to grow, right? So a lot of times we meet somebody in college, we meet somebody in high school or whatever, earlier in our life, and we don't allow for that person to grow. We're so much more comfortable keeping that person in that box of when we met them, right? They were that, oh, they just a fun friend, oh, they just that friend or whatever like that. And we have to allow the space and time for people to grow. And I think Molly is not doing a great job of that. So even if you felt that Issa was not as responsible, you know, in certain things, or she didn't have her business together, you've seen this girl grow. You've seen this girl put all of these parts together to galvanize a community, to bring together sponsorships, and corporate sponsors and local sponsors and businesses and a team of people to put on a block party for this community. You've seen her do this. Why would you not see that there's any growth in that? So that's the thing for me that was kind of really confusing about it. But I'm gonna get y'all out of here. We gotta unpack the block party. I'm the block party. So a lot of takeaways. One of the big questions that I know that many of you guys have asked me is, why didn't Lawrence come to the block party? And I think we kind of figured that out in the block party episode that was kind of told to us when Issa and Lawrence were talking in Tiffany's Tiffany's driveway, right? So when Tiffany's driveway, Lawrence was about to ask Issa something. We don't know what he was about to ask her. The assumption was like, yo, do you feel like we would have broken up if you didn't cheat? Maybe that was what the question he was going to ask her. Or maybe he was going to just let her know or talk to her about like, yo, me and Condola, you know, we broke up. I just want to let you know, blah, blah, whatever. Like, we don't know exactly what he was going to ask her. We do know that Condola had been distant to Issa because maybe she had a lot of mixed feelings. Maybe she had a lot of hurt because she really does care about Lawrence, and she's feeling like, yo, I don't know, like I want to work with this girl, but the guy I really love or care about, he's still in love with her low key because he just mad because they broke up. I mean, because she cheated. Like, it's so many complexities. So when we see Condola and Issa at the block party, and they're doing it like they have like this kind of like vibe of when you see somebody you like haven't seen in a while, but you're not really cool with as much, and you're like, hey, what's up? And you don't have like a lot to talk about, but you have a lot to talk about, right? So I think Condola is a woman who definitely was going to honor her obligations of what she did in committing to the block party with Issa, despite her emotions. She did talk to her and say, yo, Lawrence and I did break up, right? She told Issa that. And I think she kind of handled things pretty well. I think she could have better communicated when when Issa was like, texting her earlier episodes and she wasn't responding. I think she could have been better with that and be more professional. But she kind of like did those did what she did. Kelly was hilarious on the episode. We got to give her, who fakes a British accent to get with somebody? I was like, man, but I'm not gonna hold you. British accents are very sexy. I remember a girl I went to college with, and I was low-key in love with her because her beautiful accent. She was fine too, but her accent was so, oh my gosh. I would ask her to repeat stuff that she already said. I was like, say that one more time. I heard it clearly, but I was like, I want to hear you say it again. But no. So here's the thing. The last thing I'll say is Molly also at the block party with Issa. She brings her some food, which was a kind gesture. Hey, I know you haven't eaten, but you could tell she was trying to talk to her. this whole episode to me should have been called Not the Time, Not the Place, right? When you have somebody who's, Issa is running a whole block party where she has all this stuff invested, everything on the line, she's laser focused, and probably has not talked about their friendship or had the time, because again, I've thrown events. People know, like the week of or maybe 2 weeks before, I'm not really gonna talk to you about a lot of stuff right now. Let me get through this event and I got you, because I'm laser focused on trying to make it successful because I care that much, right? So I think Molly, like, I'm glad the girl pulled her away because she had to get busy, because I'm like, why are you talking to her? So then the blow up, right? That's the scene that everybody wants to talk about. We're gonna close out with this. So when Molly's boyfriend says, yeah, you know, I'm happy to help your best friend, to me the reaction should have been like, oh, you helped her? Oh, that's dope. Oh, great. I'm glad everything worked out. Not what happened. Molly went from Molly to Shakisha quick. She went from, Molly corporate lawyer to Jill Scott. I'm taking off the earrings. I'm putting the Timbs on. I'm putting Vaseline on my face. We about to do it. How do we get there, Molly? How do we get there? So that was the whole thing for me. It was like, again, not the time, not the place. Even if you felt like Issa overstepped her boundary and went behind your back to Nathan to ask his roommate and friend to help Issa, even if that was not a good move. It's just not the time, not the place, amongst all your friends, amongst corporate sponsors and people, while this girl is in the middle of the biggest thing she's ever worked on. This is not the time, not the place. And I felt like that was just really, really wrong of Molly to do that. It was not, and my thing is, Molly ain't she ain't like no street woman. Like, she's a corporate lawyer. You should know decorum, you should know etiquette, and it was not the right time, not the right place. Now, with that being said, I do feel like one of the things that I think one of the things that did come from that is sometimes even in arguments, in those tense moments, things come out that people have been holding on for a long time. So hopefully the positive part of me is hoping that they can move past it and at least be cool. But I feel like there's been so much damage broken, and I just feel like maybe they just aren't on the same page anymore. Like, they're just not, if they met each other currently constructed, would they be friends? And I think that's something that we all have to ask ourselves, because sometimes many of us are friends with people that if we met them literally today, we probably wouldn't be friends with them. You know what I mean? My friends, I think we would, because we just got so much in common. I love y'all, man. Y'all good people, man. But no, I've had friends in the past that are no longer my friends that just, in order to keep the friendship going, it was too exhausting to make that happen. So I had to depart from that friendship. You know, you pray for that person, you wish them well, but it's just not something that's going to continue in my life. You know, and where I'm going and where God is taking me, I don't want that in my life. And I just feel like Issa's final words in that argument were, one of her final words was, "You were about to let me fail." A best friend, not even a friend wouldn't even want to let you fail, but a best friend, a woman who she probably considered like a sister to her, should not be the person who let her fail. She should have been the person who literally wants to see you win, like I said, more than anybody else. And not only did she say she didn't want to be involved, but then when Issa did involve her, she still was mad that she had access to a person that Issa already knew and had a relationship with his roommate. I don't get it. So Insecure is back with a fire. I enjoy, when they was on the wobble, all the things for the culture. It seemed like a fun time. I know many of y'all wanted to be at that block party early on. It was kind of funny also seeing how many white folks were there. They were just there at the block party just drinking kombucha. You know what I mean? Like they brought kombucha. They brought like egg salad sandwiches and stuff. And she was like, "What is going on here?" I thought, where's us? But I think also they're trying to show that black folks, we come a little late. We come when we want to come. You feel me? We come when it's like, oh, when the headliner come on, yeah, I'll be there. So yeah, great episode, Insecure. Issa, you're back in your bag, girl. You're doing it this season. Season 4 is really going really well. Can't wait to see what comes up. I know in episodes to come, Jay Ellis he's actually producing or directing, I believe, one of the episodes. Shout out to him. I know Kerry Washington, she's about to be in her bag, and she's doing an episode later in the season. We can't wait to watch and see what happens. I'm gonna keep you posted. If you disagree or agree with anything I've said in this video, in this pod, hit up the comments. You can also DM me. It's fine. Let me know. I would love to hear from you and get your take for anything that I might have missed. But until then, yo, we out.